everyone. Welcome to Synergy Live, home of the Ambitious Wellness Center. Today we have a very exciting interview and also talk about nutrition. I have Bernadette Lueck from Scaling Down here with us today. We're going to really tackle some of the myths and also the misconceptions about eating healthy and how it relates to the morning, the breakfast, the lunch, the dinner, and how you can eat healthier without having the fears of doing so. So Bernadette, thank you for coming today.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So let's get started. What do you have for us today?
Well, what I've come up with here are two breakfast scenarios. I often see people standing in line at the coffee establishments, and I watch what they pick up in the morning, and so what I've bought here is a muffin, a scone, and a cup of coffee. It could be an either-or situation, but this is kind of a typical thing you would find at a coffee shop in the morning. People are in a rush. This is what they're gonna grab. For our purposes, I just did a black cup of coffee, but I know darn well that there's other versions that have lots of sugar in them. Yeah. But for now, I just did a pretty basic coffee shop breakfast. And what I propose is something that is equally as fast. You just have to have a little preparation, have it in your house. I like in the morning myself to have a cup of Greek yogurt. I like Greek yogurt because it has twice the protein, half the carbohydrates, and twice the calcium of any of the other yogurts. Wow. I like to add in a cup of berries, any kind of berries or fruit, just to give you that good fibrous carbohydrate. It sweetens the yogurt if you like a little bit of sweetness.
Can you give a little example of what kind of berries you're talking about? I see you have blackberries here today.
These are blackberries. They're in season, so I like to buy things in season. I also buy frozen berries as well.
So frozen's okay?
Frozen's okay. Frozen berries, frozen fruits and vegetables are actually as nutritious as fresh.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they're picked straight from the farm and they're flash frozen, so they retain most of their vitamins. Sometimes they're more nutritious than fresh.
That's great to know. I didn't know that, so that's great. Mm-hmm.
And they're convenient, so you can have them. They never go bad. They never rot in your fridge like a lot of things do. So I like to do frozen. So I like to always have frozen fruits and vegetables on hand.
Now, I know Greek yogurt, I've heard some people say that it's a little bite. There's a little bite to it. They're not really used to the taste. I mean, I like to take my berries and heat them up a little bit and then smash them.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That sweetens it up. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay.
Whatever you like. I just load them on top. I like to add in a favorable fat and carbohydrate. This is almond butter, and I like to add in a little almond butter just to kind of give it just sort of a nuttiness, and it adds good omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Here's a few flax seeds. It's going to add a little crunch.
Can we go back to that? You're saying omega-3s. I didn't know almond butter had that.
They're heart healthy. It's a heart healthy fat.
Okay.
So it's a non-saturated heart healthy fat that we all need. We're going to add in a few berries.
Looks good.
My
too.
purposes, I would just load it up.
Load it up.
They're all going to fall over the place. And then I have this bread I like to toast. It's a high protein, high fiber bread.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave in the morning, and this is going to take me to about 1 o'clock. And I'm going to feel great and energized and clear-headed, where this is going to leave me in a fog at around 10.
10
I
o'clock.
start to feel pretty hungry. So
wow.
I have a nutritional scorecard that I've made up for the two breakfasts. As you can see, one muffin is 672 calories. This whole breakfast is 320.
Wow.
So quite a difference in the calorie intake.
Look at the portions too. I mean, we're talking about one little muffin here versus a whole bowl of fruit with butter, or almond butter, and then you have the Greek yogurt and the flaxseed. Now the flaxseed, I'm interested to see why you added that.
I like flaxseed. It gives you additional fiber, another source of omega-3 fatty acids.
And I hear it's really good for women too, right?
It's good for everyone. I put it in my kids. Okay. I put it in everything. I sneak it in everything. Okay. It's good for kids. It's good for everyone. So I always have flax meal and flax seeds on hand for that. The fat grams, they're more than double of this whole breakfast. One muffin is 38 fat grams.
And it's different fats.
Right.
You're talking about the fats.
They're saturated. There's more saturated fat in this.
Wow.
Fiber is only 2, and this is 12. So you're getting you know, a great deal of fiber to start your morning out right. Sodium 652, and this breakfast 75.
And I've heard a lot about sodium, and as a nutritionist, what would you say having that much sodium in your body to start the day, how does that relate to the overall health? What would you say?
Well, a diet that's too high in sodium can lead to hypertension.
Okay.
You know, we all hear about that. People are on medications to lower their hypertension.
Yeah.
It bloats you. It causes water retention, which we all don't like.
Yeah.
And it's just better to keep your sodium at lower levels. And by doing that through use of foods that aren't processed. Processed foods always have a lot of sodium because it's a preservative.
Oh wow.
So that's why people get a lot of sodium because they're eating processed food all day long.
You know, I know a lot of people like to add salts to things because they think they're going to get iodine out of the salt. But I found recently that there's more and more salts that are decreasing the iodine, right?
Right. Many of the salts out there in the gourmet salts don't have iodine at all. So if you need iodized salt, we need so very few of these little nutrients, iodine, things like that. You know, we can get most of it from our food.
Can't we?
We don't need to add too many things in. And if you're eating a proper diet, you don't even need to take a vitamin pill.
Wow.
You know, so it's
that's
really
attractive
nice.
because
it is.
And it's
so
not
less
very
money
hard to
and
do that. Yeah.
right. And then the carbohydrates in this are first of all a simple carbohydrate, 75 grams of carbohydrate. This one has 34. This has simple sugars. This is more of a complex carbohydrate where your blood glucose is staying pretty level throughout the day.
Yes.
This is going to spike your blood glucose and cause you to be tired.
And I've noticed that you have a lot of protein inside this meal. What is the importance? Because I've read a lot about protein and how it balances our glucose or our sugar for the day. What would you say? Are you agreeing with that?
Protein is a building block in the body, and we'll get more into that. But it's important for your brain, for everything. Every process in the body needs protein.
Yeah.
And many people don't give themselves protein throughout the day.
Wow.
And they're eating they're eating carbohydrates. You know, they're gaining weight. They're not knowing why. It's because they're not giving their body protein to do the metabolism it needs to raise their metabolism.
Well, I'm blown away because you look at this, and this is kind of a typical what we see every day. And now you see a simple meal where you have a simple Greek yogurt. You have some berries that you can get from a farmer's market. You can even make it fun and have your kids out there picking their berries, so that's in season. And it's really almost another way of spending some time with your family and making it healthy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So great. That's amazing. I love the breakdown because you don't really see this, and we don't. A lot of us judge our health by what we feel, and you really are going to feel different on this. And I've been on this now for about a month, and I'm telling you, my energy level has gone way up. So I'm excited to see what you have more. And next segment, we're going to be going over healthy snacks. So stay tuned for next week, and we'll see you then.